Hi, Elizabeth. How you doing? So let's talk about. Okay, let's just start with the page. In Portfolio, you don't want to introduce any colors in your actual page that houses your work. Um, Anything other than like really super neutral colors. Note how this green here and this green here clash with this red and this blue. And unfortunately, that's just there's no way around it when you're using this type of color, something really super unusual, something that wouldn't be considered a neutral color. Um, Light gray, very very pale red, black. I mean, you can be expressive as you want. Just make sure that all of your pages work cohesively together in unison, and that includes your colors and your harmonies. So I'm going to suggest that you know, reformulate your thinking process for the page, the background page that holds the material. The work itself, this is great that you listed the colors here. That's excellent. This is your final example, and these are your studies, which you should list somewhere. This could possibly even be on a separate page. That this is the final, or some sort of demarcation, or some sort of annotation that says this is the final choice. As far as your selections go, yeah, Elizabeth, I'm going to be honest. I don't think you picked the right logo. I don't, and I know that you created this piece for this assignment. So I know that it won't be that difficult to fix these pieces. But let me explain to you why I don't think this is the correct logo. Well, not that there is a correct logo, but you're asking the viewer to go from this stress-free, um, and you're asking the viewer to fill in this blank right here, okay, and then jump down here to pet supplies. And usually, and I'm just going to be honest with you, it's just not rewarding enough for the viewer to be able to go. They're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. I didn't. I saw stress free, and I was like, stress free and pet supplies. What? I had to actually look over here and say, oh, I see. There's going to be this connection between the stress free and the fish and the pet supplies. I don't think it's strong enough, and I just don't think the connection is there. It's not strong, and I'm concerned that the viewer is not going to pick up on that. I do, however, think that this logo right here is a good choice. What I would do with this logo is um, I would I would add a little bit of this water over here somewhere. Bring the fish closer together. I would add some contrast to this logo by taking the brown from this trunk and adding it here. And so you have the blue for the air, you have the tree with the green and the dark brown, then you have the sand, and then you would have your little water. Like if you could take this water here and bring it over here somehow, incorporate it into this logo. And then you have the other blue at the bottom that would represent your water as well. Okay, and then the only other suggestion is it would be to open this up just a little bit more, as I think this curve is it's too oval. I'd like to see it just a little more circular. Okay, and then I just think it's going to be a lot more representative of what you're trying to say. Um, I'm not crazy about the typeface choice. I think because it's really is it if it is it Comic Sans. If not, it's a something close to it, and it's just really super casual, and it makes it look like this is maybe a logo for a kid's water park or something. So I'm just a little concerned about that logo choice. I'm sorry, that typeface choice for the logo. So I would go with this one. Colors are stronger in my earlier suggestions. So okay, and that's your choice. This is what I'm seeing, and this is what I would look at if I were talking to you if I were reviewing your portfolio in person. This is what I would suggest. Corporate identity here is also now you have corporate identity is to solidify your mark. In other words, you're building a visual identity on this mark that you've built. So what we have here is we've got two different business cards, and that doesn't really make sense if we're trying to build an identity. So stick with one and stick with one envelope. Don't introduce another whole nother concept here of this fish jumping out of the envelope. It's just, at this point, we need cohesion. Okay, so in this logo here, if you decide to use it, or this logo here, there's no, there's just, where did this come from? Is it been added? And if so, why? And then also up here, you've removed the words from your logo. So I'm not real sure if that was intentional or, okay. The next piece is the shirts. And again, you know, Elizabeth, we just got this water park thing looking, you know, this feel, this water park feel. Okay, and then the bags as well. I think this would look just beautiful in those other colors, that other logo, with that sand color and the watercolor. That would look lovely. These are really, they're not stress-free colors, Elizabeth. They're actually stressful colors. This red with that saturation and that tone against this blue is not what I would consider to be a stress-free. As a matter of fact, I think it's a little bit the opposite. Okay, and then these pieces here are great. I mean, this is good. This is great illustration, beautiful. These are great illustrations. Portfolio reviewers love to see this. It's so cool that you illustrated this bag. You actually drew the illustration and added your logo to it. So good job there. And likewise with the t-shirt. So take my comments and, you know, stick with them, or if your idea makes more sense, then by all means, stick with it. But that's what I'm seeing, Elizabeth. And if you have any questions, please contact me as soon as you possibly can, and we can talk about this. Oh, and I've got some information for you as well. I did get your message, and I do have some information for you, so I didn't forget about that. Okay. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks very much.